All right, let's do it. Another episode of the Sports Clash. I am Rich Arleo. Chris Carey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Exhausted. Did a lot of walking around the Bronx Zoo on Saturday. So it's a fun day, fun family day. A lot of kids and friends. So good time. Today was a very lazy day of just hanging out, watching movies, which now Dante's kind of at that age where he's actually sitting and watching movies with us, which is very nice. So
What'd you watch?
we went through the Toy Stories. I mean, it's
Oh,
been
can't
done,
go
but
wrong.
it's you can't go wrong. I
What an
mean,
emotional roller coaster.
yeah, I may have cried. I'm more. I was always emotional. I'm bad now. It's really bad. Like
That happens when you
any
become a dad.
Yeah, I think anything with kids, like just seeing Andy like growing up and like giving his toys to the
Shh.
younger
No,
kid.
stop
I
there.
know,
Yeah, you're
spoilers. I'm
right.
sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, too much. But but anyway, didn't watch a ton of sports. It's kind of that lull. I mean, you got baseball, which obviously we love. Um, but I mean, from my perspective, I mean the Yankees just took 2 out of 3 from the Rangers, which is one of the best teams in baseball right now. They did it in a very weird way. They they won 1-0 on Saturday. Severino finally got his shit together. And then today, on Sunday, they went down early and then actually had an inning. They scored 3 runs in one inning. I mean,
Oh,
it was wild. It was an offensive explosion today
holy.
on Sunday. It was unbelievable. I don't even know. Like,
Three
yeah,
whole runs.
yeah, like Anthony Volpe hit a double, and then they followed it up with another hit to bring him around, and then another one. It was like hits with runners in scoring position. It was wild. It was
Oh
crazy to
my
watch.
goodness. That's
So
absolutely incredible. The Yankees might be turning a corner. Yeah.
I I don't know. The
I
Judge
think they're
news.
deadline sellers, buddy. I'm
They're
sorry.
not deadline
They got
sellers.
to be
The
deadline
the
sellers.
New
Send
York
us Cole.
Yankees, as abysmal as it's been, they will never be deadline sellers. But it's been rough, and the Judge news is not good. He apparently now tore a ligament in the toe, which the Yankees in their injury reporting, it's like hockey levels of, at least with hockey, you expect it. It's like upper body injury, lower body injury. That's it. He's
Yeah.
severely concussed. Yeah, he's got upper body injury. Yeah, they do it. They do that for reasons for targeting and stuff like that. But the Yankees are just like, yeah, we'll see. He's walking, he's feeling fine. This is like 2 days after. And, don't expect it to be too bad. Now we're 3 weeks later. First they said it's not broken, it's just a sprain. Now they come out and judge said he's like, I tore a ligament and I'm still feeling pain when I walk. And this is like 3 weeks later now. So I'm not expecting him. And I said it when it got hurt. I'm like, yeah, they're saying it's nothing. Watch, he'll be out until after the All-Star break. And now I'm just hoping, August, just get right, come back for August. Hopefully the Yankees are still in. I mean, with 3 wild cards, it's hard not to be in the playoff hunt now. But
Yeah, Yankees got to be in the mindset of protect the investment right now. Protect
yeah,
the investment. This poor guy. I mean, you're lucky that he's walking. If you try to imagine walking without a big toe right now, it'd be pretty difficult. So,
yeah,
thankfully, he is walking, and thankfully, he is a superhuman. So, probably be back sooner than a lot of guys. But yeah, you're right. It kind of developed a little bit oddly. It was not like reported as anything that was a big deal. And then all of a sudden it was, uh-oh, this might be kind of a big deal. So who knows? We'll see. Yankees are still pretty close,
yeah.
unfortunately
They're
for
not
my
far away.
guys, but still pretty close to the O's and still pretty close to the race. I just love New York
Mets are
sports
close.
talk radio right now, though. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, with the Mets, I mean, the Mets are taking it all right now. Did you see what happened to the Mets? Oh,
Yeah,
they
The Mets are shitty. The
I
Mets are
think I
the
think we have a weekly laugh at the Mets expense. And as a Yankee fan, I try not to be that typical Yankee fan that shits on the Mets at all times. I really don't mind him.
You should shit on the Mets right now,
I
no matter who
mean,
you are.
they had a 6-3 lead against the Phillies late. They in the eighth inning, the Phillies scored 4 runs to take a 7-6 lead on one hit. Their bullpen completely melted down. I think three hit by pitches, bunch of walks. It was a rough watch.
Yeah, I
Uh,
cashed out my parlay. I had the Phillies and the Orioles parlayed. Orioles plus 1.5. Orioles ended up winning, but I also had the Phillies money line, and I was like, ah, you know what? I'll take my $3 out of my $10 bet back. And boy, was I dumb.
you're
The
such a
Mets, they just can't get any
oh,
worse.
you can't cash out against the Mets. I mean, you got to know that they can always blow it,
It was
and
six
that's
to
what they
three in the
did.
seventh. They were offering me
I
a cash out. I was like,
I had
okay,
I
I'll
had Phillies
take
money line,
a couple bucks
and
back.
I had Phillies money line today. I took that. That was one of my bigger bets today, and they hit Trey Turner hit the home run first inning. I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Then all of a sudden,
It's gonna be
it's like,
easy.
yeah, all of a sudden it's Mets 6-3. They were looking good, but I didn't even look. I didn't even check, and then I looked back and 7-6 Phillies. That
You
was
know what I would love? I would love if the Mets were deadline sellers. Really, you built for one season. You really put all your eggs in one basket. You brought in Scherzer. You brought in Verlander. I would love to see a Max Scherzer on my Orioles down the stretch. I would love to see a Justin Verlander reunited with Mike Elias just for one season to get the Orioles over the hump. I would love it. But yeah, if you're the Mets right now, if you're a Mets fan, like tear it down already. Already clean house. Get rid of everyone.
well,
I love it.
They traded Eduardo Escobar, and he had a couple of hits in the Angels outburst on Saturday night. Um, but
There you
yeah,
go. It's
yeah,
Aaron Hicks
they're
syndrome,
paying
dude. You just
Aaron.
need a change of scenery, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden you're an elite level player. That's what's
I
happening
mean,
to Eduardo
Aaron
Escobar.
Hicks homering all the time, and then I saw ex Yankee Mike Ford hit a big home run against the Orioles
Two.
this weekend. I mean, it's wild. There's a couple of ex Yankees out there right now just really crushing. I mean, Gallo,
Talkman.
yeah, Talkman's playing pretty well for
Yeah.
the Cubs. I mean, Joey Gallo, I think he's back to hitting like 180. He
Hey,
got off to
where's
a
our guy
little
Clint
bump
Frazier,
start.
by the way? Is he doing
He's
anything?
on the Cubs, I believe. Or no, no, no. I think he was on the White Sox. I saw him recently. I don't think he's doing much, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's on the White Sox, and he's not playing every day, and he's not doing much. So poor guy. I think I really liked him when I first got him, and I think injuries kind of messed him up. He had some concussions and kind of was a little very vocal, and it's just yeah.
Too vocal.
Yeah, too vocal. And
Too
now
vocal.
Billy McKinney is the guy. One of one of the he came over in the Gleyber Torres trade, and he's playing better than Gleyber Torres, and he's the guy. I mean, and he left too. He had gone on to a couple of different teams and then came back, and he's kind of been a journeyman, but he's been the Yankees' hottest bat recently. I saw that the O's have called up another one of their 7,000 top prospects that they have.
Jordan Westburg, I presume. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Westberg.
He's our number one infield prospect. He's really there to replace Jorge Mateo, which unfortunately I feel really bad. I love Jorge Mateo. Had an electric April, but he has
Good.
fallen off. And now the infield of the future is taking shape. I mean, Adam Frazier is not going to be there long term. He's on a 1 year deal, but we've got Gunnar and we've got Westberg who are going to pretty much take over either third and short or third and second, respectively. And then Mountcastle will be back soon. So we're really seeing it take shape, and I'm super excited about it. I don't know a ton about Westbrook other than he's about a 300 hitter. He was a first round draft pick. He's solid. He's been on every top 100 prospect list for a long time, but really under the radar. So I'm excited to see what he brings, but I love Jorge Mateo. That guy was a blast to watch. I mean, anytime he would get on base, a threat to steal.
Yeah.
Westberg doesn't have as much speed as Mateo, but at the end of the day, he's going to fill in either for Frazier on his days off, Urias on his days off, and Mateo as well. So it's humming. We're humming. I'm excited about it.
I'd say
Brandon
still their
Hyde has
superstar.
Joe Torre syndrome right now, which is just a good thing to have. He has too many guys for too few slots in the lineup, and
It's a good thing to
just
have.
start platooning some guys maybe. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you've got guys like Austin Hayes, who's leading the AL and actually the MLB in batting for the past month or so, who's incredible. No batting gloves guy, love it. But we have plenty of outfielders coming up in the system as well. Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, plenty of guys that are sitting on my dynasty team ready to get the call too. So
Yeah, you have the entire
it's happening.
Orioles farm system on your
It's
team,
happening.
except for Westburg. I saw you don't have him,
No, but he's been
but
offered to
you
me
can't
in
have all of them.
multiple trades. Yeah,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty transparent about my fandom.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had way too many Yankees on my team for a while, so try
You're
to.
hanging on to Dominguez though. When's Dominguez going to come around?
I mean, he was expected next year. He had a very good spring. He's been okay. He's still in Double A.
Better
I mean,
speed that up.
he's 20, or still maybe 19. Like he's still very young. It's not. I'm not worried about it. I'm not rushing him. And he's the guy. Yeah, he's 20. He just turned 20. He's a kid that I I don't want. He's the one right now in their farm system. I don't want them to move. Him and Volpe, just build on those guys, um, and then trade. There's a couple other top prospects to have, that I wouldn't mind just seeing in a trade to bring in some talent, like Austin Wells,
What about
uh,
Esteban?
Estevan Florio.
Yeah,
I mean, he's like 20. Well, he's still only 25, I guess.
to be a 30-year-old
He's
prospect.
actually having his best minor league season right now. The Yankees DFA'd him in spring, and nobody even bit. So,
Yeah,
and the Yankees haven't. They're using guys
guess he
like
can't move him
McKinney.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're using guys like McKinney and Jake Bowers right now, and it's going fine. So
I'm just enjoying this because you've got teams like the Orioles, the Cincinnati Reds, absolute
the
tear. What
Reds
was it,
are
12,
so
12 game
much
win streak.
fun.
D-backs. Um, there was one other team I was thinking of, but the farm systems are showing. Well, obviously the Rays. Yeah, let's throw them in there. The low budget, actually, don't want to call them low budget, low payroll teams are really finding ways to win in this day and age of baseball, and I'm super excited about it. You can't just buy the wins anymore, and it's exciting
No,
to see because I think athleticism is being promoted in this brand of baseball with the
yeah,
steals, with the pitch clock.
yeah.
I think athleticism rather than the David Wells of the world, or the guys that are just getting top dollar in their 30s. I think the younger teams are winning. I think the more athletic teams are starting to win, and I'm just excited about it for the sport, man. It's
Yeah,
fun to watch.
Diamondbacks, Reds, the Marlins.
The
eh,
Marlins too, yeah.
I mean, Ed Luis Ariz, we got to talk about him. He's hitting above 400 right
It's
now, and we're in
unreal.
June 25th.
When's the
I
last time you remember a guy hitting 400?
This
Because
late in
for
the
me, it was Todd
season,
Helton.
yeah. Well, I mean, they never finished the season. Like I'm thinking, like this deep hitting 400 still. Like maybe Ichiro one year was up
Yep.
there, but it hasn't been done. What since Ted Williams? Uh,
I couldn't even tell you. That's why I threw it to you. I honestly
it's
couldn't even tell you.
I don't think it's been done since. I mean, I could look it up, but like it's you don't see it. You don't see 330 in the game anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, 1941, Ted Williams.
Yeah. It's
Tony
it's
Gwynn and George
impressive.
Brett were a couple hits shy,
Talk
for a
about
couple
like no
seasons.
lineup protection too. Luis Ariz. I mean, maybe Soler hitting behind him.
Yeah, I mean Soler.
That's about it.
Brian De La Cruz is having an okay season, but I don't,
Didn't we reject
they're
the trade offer for him?
yeah yeah.
Yeah.
He's I mean they're doing it with pitching, which is also weird because their ace Sandy Alcantara is not really having a great season.
Yeah, but they're like
But
7 deep in
the kid, well,
starters.
that's the thing. I think the kid Yuri Perez had a great start the other day, and it's fun. It's very fun. I'm enjoying watching other baseball even more than I have. Like last couple of years, you're starting to see a lot of these kids coming up, and now it's really like every week it's somebody new, and they're coming in and making an impact, and it's
I mean,
very
we'll
fun
see
to
what
watch.
comes out in the World Series. Who knows? It's probably still going to be the Dodgers, Yankees, Astros. At the end of the day, but it's fun to watch the ride until then, And who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe next season is really when the page gets turned. Really, when the Reds are there. Really, when the Orioles are there. The teams that are showing out right now early in the season might not be the ones that make it. I know the Yankees have Rodon coming back. They have a few guys coming back. Judge will be back eventually. The Astros are still there. The Dodgers will still be there, of course. But it's fun for now. We're talking what one third of the season through,
yeah.
and
All-Star
what
game
four
coming up.
four teams projected in the playoffs that we I don't think anybody could have predicted.
It's nice to see, but think we got to talk a little NBA. NBA draft was this past week. During the week, I was putting my kid down. I didn't see it. It doesn't look like there were really any surprises. Obviously, when Banyama number one to the Spurs, we all knew that kid is looking like a generational talent. The one knock on him is, you look at his legs when he's doing, he's very athletic, but you just kind of like, oh, is he going to land on that? But
That knee, that ankle, yeah,
but it's just, that's always the case with guys that big. He
it
looks,
is.
he looks unbelievable. I very much hope that he is great and great for the Spurs, a team that I always kind of, you just respected those teams with Robinson, Duncan, and Pop. Those were teams you never really, I never at least really hated. I always, anytime they were there, I always was rooting for them. So we'll see. I think one of the bigger quote unquote surprises, I think everybody expected Scoot Henderson to go second, but then it
Not
was,
this
yeah,
guy.
you knew it, you got it, Brandon Miller.
Oh yeah, Brandon Miller. I mean, he's a guy that can run the floor, and he's like 6'8", I think it is. One of the premier college basketball programs in the country now is Alabama, and as much as I hate to say that, it's you draft the guys who are the most talented, who have the most ability to win right now. And with their run in the tournament, with their run over the course of the year, I mean, those are the guys that you want that can win right now. To be honest with you, if you play in the G League, to me, there's a reason you didn't play at a top program in the NCAA. There's a reason you weren't, a top prospect or whatever. But this draft was weird because at the end of the day, there were only two college prospects that went in the top seven. The rest came from the G
Overtime
League.
elite, yeah, well,
It came
overtime
from
elite.
two
Um,
guys came from France.
yeah,
Yeah, Bilal Coulibaly or whatever was the other guy who played with Wembanyama in France, and then the two twins from Overtime Elite, and then you got Scoot from the G League. But yeah, I think Brandon Miller was really the best prospect outside of Wembanyama in this draft. He just had the issues with, hey, why don't you bring a gun to a shooting and supposedly not get suspended? So you got John Morant as an example in the NBA right now. Do you want to draft Brandon Miller? Do you want the talent or do you want the baggage? So I think the Hornets realized good kid, made a mistake, and they didn't make a mistake in this draft, drafting him over Scoot Henderson.
let's hope that's his one mistake, and now he made it. He was
Everybody
number
gets
two
one.
overall. Everybody gets
Yeah,
one. Everybody
yeah,
gets one Spider-Man web, and
yeah.
everybody gets one.
Odd draft though, man. It has so many international prospects. France is coming. France is coming for the NBA. There were like 4 or 5 from France that came over in this draft.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
it was
impressive.
fun to watch. But I couldn't stay up as late as the freaking draft went.
Yeah, I yeah, my interest was low. The Knicks didn't have a pick,
Yeah,
and
what the fuck?
me. But
Poor
and it was
Knicks.
just, there was no number one overall drama. It was really
Mm-mm.
just number two and three drama. And like you said, the Thompson. Are they twins?
Yes.
Oh wow, Amen
They had
and
a real
Josie.
awkward pre-draft interview
Yeah,
about not calling each other and not texting each other back. It was very weird and awkward. But
yeah,
one thing I'll say about the draft is Victor Wembanyama didn't disappoint in his interviews, in his maturity, the
yeah.
way that he carried himself, the way that he handled himself. Guy, I'm a fan just hearing him talk. But
Seems like
boy, is
very.
it awkward to watch him just walk across the stage like that. I mean, Adam Silver is like an alien and like a weird looking dude, but when you're that tall, like
It's stupid tall. Did you
it's
see him holding a
weird.
baseball? He threw out the first pitch at the Yankee game
It's like
earlier in the week.
fingertips.
It was like I can't even. You can't. There's no comparison to that. He's enormous. And he's standing next to Jose Trevino, Yankees catcher, who is average height. He's like 6 foot, 6'1". Looked like a tiny person. There was it's shocking to see. He was walking down River Ave outside of Yankee Stadium, where thousands of people outside of the Yankee game before the games. They have a couple bars there. It's always packed, and he is towering over everyone. There's a sea of people, and he is well above it. It's not just a head peeking up. It's chest high above everyone.
They said he was
Crazy.
determined and he was really excited to ride the New York City subway, which I think is hilarious
I
and
hope
is
he
not going to
enjoyed
age
that.
well. Yeah.
No, I think he was probably let down, unless hopefully he didn't get into one of the empty cars, and
Yeah. If you get an empty
oh,
car,
you
there's
never
a
know what
reason.
you find in there.
Yep.
Draft aside, free agency this week, June 30th. You got some big names, but some old guys. If this class, Russell
Few
Westbrook,
holds.
James Harden, Kyrie Irving, if that class hit, 6, 7 years ago, that was the free agent class. Like, wow, the buzz would be incredible. Now Westbrook can't shoot anymore. Harden is quite easily the best, but yeah, it seems likely that he's going back to Philly. We'll see.
I would hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Kyrie, we know all about Kyrie. Still incredibly talented. Um, but who knows? It doesn't appear like he's going to be the guy to lead a team anymore.
The only place I can see Kyrie being successful right now is in LA with LeBron for one season.
Oh, they didn't they hate each other in Cleveland?
There was a little bit of little brother, big brother type of thing. Yeah.
I
But
mean, they
I
won
think if
one.
Kyrie really wants to like rework his image or kind of figure it out, he can do it
Does he?
as a secondary player, as the little brother to LeBron again.
Do you think he actually wants to rework his image, or he kind of doesn't
No,
give a
of
fuck?
course. No, he doesn't want to go back there. No. I mean, I think that's best for him, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's probably easiest for him to just re-sign in Dallas, to be honest.
That's a disaster of a fit there.
Yeah.
Him and
Who
Luca. That
where
doesn't.
do you think you should go? Where would Kyrie be
I
successful?
I don't know. You couldn't tell me. I mean, years ago we wanted him on the Knicks. Then the two of them went to the Nets, and we saw how that worked out. Um,
Send him
I
to
I
the
wouldn't
black
want
hole
him.
that is the Wizards then.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. He could just play with a bunch of nobodies, and he could run the team, do whatever he wants out there. Nobody will care. So it might be a good move, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna be run by the Saudis pretty soon too. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't. What
Yeah.
now?
The Washington sports teams are being bought into by the Public Investment Fund for Saudi Arabia as well. So the Mystics, the Capitals, Wizards are all falling under that umbrella. Thankfully, my Commanders are okay ethically, but no, the rest of the Washington
Mm-mm.
teams, nope,
Jeez,
they're coming under Saudi rule again too.
Saudi
Again,
rule.
now.
Jeez, that's
Yep.
wild. It's crazy what's happening there. I
Yep.
saw I saw Chris Paul to the Warriors. That's an interesting move, but it's perfect fit for him. I mean, to finish out his career.
I mean, drive and kick, definitely there,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I would want to take the ball out of Steph's hands. I mean,
No,
to put it into Chris Paul's hands just to pass it back to Steph, to me doesn't make sense. We got the one of the biggest contributors or one of the biggest um, you know, guys who can create his own 3-point shot there. Pick it up. It doesn't have to be a catch and shoot shot for 3. I don't know. I wouldn't want to take it out of Steph's hands, but on the defensive end, I think it's tremendous for the Warriors.
yeah, I think it's great for them, and clearly Jordan Poole wasn't a fit there with Draymond. That clearly didn't dissipate. There was definitely still a lot of ill will there, and Jordan Poole's play in the playoffs last year didn't do him any favors.
I
Him
don't think so. No.
him putting up the shots that Steph and Clay should be taking in crunch time. thinking that he was the man. It was there's a headline. The Warriors didn't just trade Jordan Poole, they banished him to the Wizards.
There you go.
Like a
Exactly.
punishment.
That's what the Wizards are right now. They're just a
It's a
black hole for contracts, for draft picks, for whatever you want. Just all
incredible.
getting sucked out of the NBA through Washington.
Incredible. So aside from those big three in free agency, there's a couple other names. Chris Middleton. I
How do you leave 40 million on the table? Like, I guess if you're going to get more years, but like to opt out of a 1 year, $40
there's a
million
$40
dollar
million
contract,
option. That's wild. I mean,
it's a lot of
I
money.
wonder what his projected contract is going to
You're
be.
Chris Middleton, though.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not a
the thing.
household name.
No,
You're deserving of a max contract, but you're just not a household name. Like,
no. I want obviously he's not tied to the Knicks. I want nothing to do with him. That's I'd say I'm interested to see what money he gets, but I mean that's a guy I wouldn't want any part of.
really, I feel like he could be a great fit for the Knicks.
Not for what he's going to get, not to be paid as a max guy.
Gotcha. That makes
I
sense.
mean, no way.
Yeah, you can allocate your money elsewhere a little bit more effectively for what you get in Chris Middleton. But I think the type of player that he is the perfect fit for the Knicks. But
No, he actually
you would just
is.
be overpaying.
No, yeah, a small forward who's a good shooter. That is a fit. That's a need for the Knicks. But wait for next year's class. Just kind of they're gonna bring back Hart. Derrick Rose is gone officially now.
Thank goodness.
So I mean, love Derrick Rose. It was great to have him in New York. His first year here he was incredible. Like well, when he came back and was healthy, it was incredible. Last year, not a contributing
Objectively, though,
team.
you don't need Derrick Rose.
You don't need Derrick Rose. It was a $15 million option. I think that obviously you're gonna decline that. So we'll see where he lands. But Bulls fans want him back in Chicago to finish out his career. So that would be fun. But D Rose, man, that's a guy who career arc could have been unbelievable, and the knees, man, just happens to the best of them. My wife will tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. That's
He's
why I try to
taking a
make
big
not
time.
too many lateral movements in my life anymore. Nope.
Just going straight ahead
We're just
or
straight.
turning
Ooh,
around.
we can back it up,
Yeah,
but we're not making too
no
many
side
lateral
to side.
movements.
No,
Yeah,
got to avoid those sports. Just run it. If we're gonna get the heart rate up, just ride a bike, run, just go on a straight line. Be good.
that's it. Set it forward. That's it.
A bunch of old men here. Speaking of old men, looking at Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, there's just all these reports. I forget who it is. One of the safeties with the Jets now was with the Bucks. The first year Brady came and they won the Super Bowl. He's saying it's like the exact same situation, and I'm just the more I hear, the more I'm like, this is gonna be a disaster. I'm just getting that those kind of
Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
yeah, I'm concerned. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's June. I haven't seen him play, but I mean, they signed Chuck Clark to be their starting safety, and he tore his ACL already. So it's already begun. I
Jets, Mets. There's a correlation there, right?
oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, I should have been a Giants fan. Not that the Giants have been unbelievable, but they have Super Bowls in recently. Um, and they had an incredible quarterback for a long time. But I loved Vinny Testaverde, Wayne Corbett, and Curtis Samuel, and Keyshawn Johnson. That team, those teams, I fell in love with those teams, and I didn't have. There was no real push. Like my dad was more of a Jets fan than anything, so that was that push there. And the Yankees stuff came from my grandpa and my mom, and that was obviously the timing was great there. 94, 95, just starting to get into baseball. It couldn't
The
have worked
fact that
out
you're
any better.
defending your Jets fandom right
Well, I
now
have to be.
does have
There's
me concerned too.
You should see people like if I say I'm a Yankees and Jets fan, they're like, "Oh, how'd that happen?" I mean, it's not. I get it. Like in the '60s, the Jets and Mets both played in J for a while. Like there's a reason why there's that correlation. But you can pick whoever you want to root for. I mean, get out of my face. but I made a mistake. I would have loved. There's so many times where I've wanted to just shift to the Giants, but I can't. You can't. It's like you're once you're in
Think
on
about a
this
kid
team.
growing up in New York rooting for the Orioles too. How many times I thought I knew, oh, whoa, how much pressure there was to, ooh, maybe I should give this up. No, stick with your teams, buddy.
You got to stick with
You
your
don't need to
teams.
defend it to anybody, especially me.
Yeah. Oh, I no, I know, and I'm not. It is what it is. I'm stuck, and I just you see one of the first big injuries of the year is our safety is out. You know, I I'm concerned. I'm already concerned.
Aaron Rodgers is really out there making sure that everybody really, really, really wants to do ayahuasca too. Like, holy
He's
crow.
speaking at supporting psychedelics, and it's like,
Yeah, hopefully, I mean,
man,
his point, that he made was I had like 26 touchdowns and however many interceptions. Then I did ayahuasca. Then I had an MVP season. So, as a Jets fan, I'm like, send this guy to the shaman. Send him to the hills,
oh,
like
let him
darkness
take
retreat
whatever he
after dark.
wants.
Yeah, all the
Don't
time.
do not
Let
get
him
in his
throw him on
way.
the field and on shrooms, dude. Definitely, this guy is supposedly amazing after doing stuff like that. So I don't know. He's such a wild card personality that I get why you're feeling that way. Like he's just a weirdo. He's an absolute weirdo, and
Yes.
I love his weirdo-ness because I think he's brilliant. But at the end of the day, that guy and all your eggs are in that guy's
That's
basket,
it.
and
That's
you
it. It's
never know where his brain's at. So
having all your eggs in one player's basket. I saw it as a Jets fan with Brett Favre, and it started out great, and then he got hurt and didn't really say anything, and then they sucked, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm not hurt, I'm out," and then he leaves, and we don't even make the
yeah.
playoffs, and they somehow recovered quickly after that, but
See, I'm
uh,
gonna give you this though, because you're like comparing them. Brett Favre, for all intents and purposes, pretty dumb. Aaron Rodgers, for all intents and purposes, brilliant.
smart guy.
So I'd like my eggs in the brilliant basket rather than the dumb basket.
Yeah,
I really think you can't compare the two, even though everybody is intrinsically going to.
it's just the natural fit. I mean, Packers
Exactly.
Hall of Famer quarterback,
I mean,
comes to the Jets.
I think the Jets are a playoff team, but
No,
it's
they are.
Super
They
Bowl
have
or
to be. But I
bust.
just there's one. If anything happens to Rodgers, that's it. Because right now Zach Wilson's your backup.
Dude,
You're gonna run
I'm
that kid
telling you
back.
though, you guys drafted an absolute gem in Garrett Wilson. I'm wearing a Buckeyes hat right now, but Garrett Wilson
He's unreal.
is absolutely unreal to anchor your wide receiver core. Absolutely unreal, and you have two legitimate running backs too. So if Aaron Rodgers does go down, you still have pieces around them, especially
Yes.
with the defense that you have that you can still overcome. You might not be Super Bowl champs, but you're going to be a playoff team. I think even if Aaron Rodgers goes down in the second half of the season.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
one thing I want to talk about, and we mentioned it, Sergio Busquets, Sergio Biscuits,
Biscuits.
the Biscuits rejoins Messi, former Barcelona teammates. He's going to Miami. He is another guy who had offers from the Saudi clubs and said, "Nah, going to Miami." It's a win. It's
Let's
another
go
win for soccer in the US
for America.
for America.
I'm a Miami fan right now. I Sergio Busquets. I mean, that's a name that you hear on FIFA all the time, baby. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think it's kind of funny that somebody said Messi's going there because it's easy or whatever. Nobody gets relegated from the MLS. But Sergio Busquets following him over there, teaming up again, like super excited for that. I mean, it's about time we get some star power. They keep adding teams to the MLS. Let's keep adding stars. Like, and I'm glad that he rejected the Saudi offer, like your boy's son over at Tottenham too.
Yeah, it sounds like he's not going there. I don't know if he's staying in Tottenham, but just glad to see that won't be happening. MLS, I really want to watch. I am a Red Bulls fan. I've been to the arena, had a great time. It was when Tottenham was there. So that was awesome to see. But I've not been to a Red Bulls game, but would love to see. There was a point where I thought I might root for NYCFC. They played in Yankee Stadium. There's that connections, but I though my old house we were so close to Red Bull Arena and going to that game, I was like, all right, I gotta be a Red Bulls fan. And I try to watch, but it's not on cable now. It's on Apple TV, which I have, but I'm not logging in to watch MLS. I need some sort of reminder. I mean, I guess I could set on my phone set up like, hey, Red Bulls are playing tonight, and I would turn it on, but just not seeing it on a major sports network as you're flipping through channels, which, we're old men, we're in our 30s, we still do that. We just, maybe some of you younger kids out there, you don't
Oh,
even
going
have that
streaming services. Streaming
one
service is
click.
the worst. You can't just flip channels.
It's not convenient whatsoever. Um, Once you go in there, I mean, and Apple TV Plus is great, plenty of great shows on there. And sometimes I'm on there, but the only time anytime I'm on there, I'm like, oh, MLS is on there. But it's never when they have games, and I'm just not thinking about it. But I'm gonna make a concerted effort to watch some Red Bulls games, root for
Good.
them, and then Messi should be playing. I think it's late July. They said that he'll be coming, and I'll make it.
Relatively soon, in my opinion. That's very quick.
That's quick, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna come over here very very fast, change the face of the league, and I mean, hopefully there's more people choosing to log in and choosing to follow their
I hope
teams
so.
and making sure that they're there and viewing these games because it sounds like MLS is ready to give us a more high quality product. And at the end of the day, you got to respond as fans if you want it to keep going. And
Mhm.
we've had expansion teams, we've had plenty of growth in the MLS, and now it's time for the product on the field to take shape as well. But fans got to support it too, and I've
That's
seen
I
it.
hope I yeah, I've seen it, and we've seen it at times, when Beckham came, there was a boost and all that, when a big player comes, it brings the interest, but they need to figure out a way to have it stick.
It's got to be league wide too. It can't be team by team. It's great to have like one player, boost one team's fan base or whatever, but you've got a league across the nation now that you need to continue to raise the bar.
Yep.
Even the lower teams, like the comment that was made about there's no penalty for losing in the MLS when Messi came over here. There needs to be like a mindset that the rest of the league needs to be good, and we can't just bring in one player at a time for one team at a time. And the rest of the league needs to raise the bar too.
By the way, looking at MLS standings, Inter Miami, 5-13, not doing
Garbage,
well. 15th place in
garbage.
the Eastern Conference. It's but July 21st against Cruz Azul, one of the teams from Mexico. And that'll be his debut July 21st. So it is time for everyone's favorite segment, our only segment. Hopefully we have some more soon. But I know I love it every week. It's time for good, bad, shitty. We each go through a player, a team, a personality from the sports world. We name one that's been a good, one that's been bad, and one that's been downright shitty. Chris, start us off this week. Who's your good?
I hate to do this because I'm such a homer, but at the end of the day, this guy's been homering, and his name's Anthony Santander, and he's
Tony
absolutely
Taters.
fantastic. Tony Taters. He's homered in, I think, 6 of the last 8 games that he's played in, and it's absolutely
He
ridiculous. It's
robbed a homer
almost
too recently, right?
he did. Julio Rodriguez. He took away a Julio Rodriguez homer today, and Julio had some. He was very animated about it. They had a little back and forth from the dugout out to right field, a little laughter about it, and I got to eat a little bit of crow on this too because I've been saying trade Santander, get the most bang for your buck that you can get for Anthony Santander right now, and now I don't want to trade him. He's
My
so
offer
damn
still
good.
stands. Glaber Torres for Anthony Santander.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do it.
mean, I would love it, but with Westberg coming up now, we don't need an infielder. Get that garbage out of here. Even though Glaber pretty much owns Camden Yards, but
Be a
at
perfect
the end
fit.
of the day, yeah, Anthony Santander is absolutely crushing it, and he is a good. Who's yours?
It's good. Impressive. My good is way better than your good. Ronald Acuna Jr., I would say.
Yeah,
He's a better player. Yeah. This guy has been unbelievable from start until now this year. He has not really slowed down. Might run away with the NL MVP. 328 average. His OPS is, north of 950, close to 1,000. He's got 16 homers and 34 steals on June 25th. This guy is
How many
on the
steals?
verge 34. This guy is on the verge of a 40-40 season, and I feel like people aren't even really talking about it yet. I know it's early, but 40-40 is an unbelievable accomplishment. You know how many
We got
guys
new
are in the
rules.
40-40 club? Yeah, the new rules, whatever. I mean, Acuna's going to steal 60 this year.
How
You know how
many
many
guys are in
guys?
the 40-40 club?
What would you guess, just off the top of your head?
2.
All right, four,
Okay.
four guys. You got, and you're gonna know all of these names: Jose Canseco,
Yep.
Barry Bonds,
Yep.
Alex Rodriguez,
Damn it.
Alfonso Soriano is the
Wow.
last player to
Wow.
do
I
it.
wouldn't have got that one.
Yeah, last player to do it, and the only one that didn't take steroids out of those four. So yeah, you say new rules. You say new rules, and you want to, you say, oh, it's easier to steal bases now. It's not loaded up on the juice, so a little bit of a different ball game there. I'll get us going on the bads. I actually got a trio for you for the bads:
Uh-oh.
Chase Anderson, Matt Caracidi, and Noah Davis. That is a trio of Rockies pitchers who combined to allow 23 runs scored in 4 innings to the Angels.
That's bad.
I mean, that's downright shitty. I got somebody else for that, but I didn't. 3 guys. I didn't want to do it too bad. I mean, that's a bunch of names that Chase Anderson's been around forever, but
Yep.
that's a disaster. 23 runs in 4 innings. I turned that game on in the third inning. It was 15-0. I'm like, wait, I had to do a triple take at the score. I
I
couldn't
think I was
believe it.
talking to you at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was during FIFA. We were doing had a little FIFA sesh. Yeah.
You know what's amazing about that game too, which I didn't know any of these guys' name. Chase Anderson, I knew his name, but that game ended in I think under 3 hours too.
I think it was a quick. I mean, it was 15-0 in the third inning, and then I mean, I think it ended up 25-1 was the final score.
Poor guy that went to get a beer during that inning.
It was a 13-run inning and an 8-run inning, I believe. I mean,
Unreal.
just
My bad, kind of sad to me. My bad is Bob Huggins. Bob Huggins is the head coach of West Virginia, or was the head coach of West Virginia until he got, I think it was his second DUI, got arrested. And I feel really, really bad for people who haven't been able to watch Bob Huggins as a head coach and will not get to watch Bob Huggins as a head coach going forward uh, because of off the court things. But I've never seen a coach whose players love him more than they love their own fathers, and the same thing reciprocated from Bob Huggins loving his players. I am very sad that he had to resign from his job at Press Virginia because the NCAA is a better product when Bob Huggins is playing because Bob Huggins preaches defense and defense wins championships. And I really, really, really was upset to hear that Bob Huggins is not going to be a part of NCAA basketball here going forward because of some off the court issues. But my bad is Bob Huggins because West Virginia was a lot of fun to watch. Before that, Cincinnati, a lot of fun to watch. He's an excellent coach and an excellent man, and really, really sad to see that.
don't know much about him
Huggy
or the
Bear.
team, but looking at just Google image search him, it just looks like a guy you want to head to the bar and have a couple beers with. But let's maybe, not,
Unfortunately, yeah.
let's not, yeah,
Yep. Not
yeah.
so much anymore.
Well, that's your bad. Who's your shitty?
My shitty is going to be NBA, the NBA draft coverage. So I'm sitting there watching the NBA draft. You're like, oh, I'm not watching them at the Bronx Zoo. I'm doing whatever. I'm doing things. The NBA draft coverage is horrible. Horrible. They first off announced the entire draft class before they were picked,
Mhm,
like 30 guys. You know who's getting picked, it sounds like all of a
mhm.
sudden. So, not super exciting after that. Everybody's got a table of 10 family members they have to hug and kiss and cry about and whatever. I got my moment in the NBA. Great. I'm so excited for these kids. I really am. But to be honest, the top 10 are the ones that are going to play in the NBA. There's very, very few who are actually going to play in the NBA. And I get that it's life changing for them. But when you're sitting there and a majority of picks are wearing a hat of a team that they're not going to go to because that pick has already been traded, it's very confusing and very stupid, in my opinion.
That's
It
the
makes them
biggest
look
issue.
really, really dumb.
It
And
does.
at the end of the day, if there's a draft pick trade, just update it. Put that other team's logo up there. Don't let that kid do his most important interview in a Washington Wizards hat when he's going to the Phoenix Suns or whomever it is. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know where the heck anybody's going. And the announcer is literally laughing about the fact that, oh, this pick is, yep, but it's going to the Milwaukee Bucks. And this kid's sitting here with a hat of a team that he's never going to play with. And he might not have even been in the conversation with, but they're picking for another team. And it just seems stupid. And
That's
at the end of
shitty. Going back to the Yankees, and
no.
he's kind of the whipping boy right now in the Bronx. Well deserved. Josh Donaldson. This man has been awful since he came here. He's hitting 125. He is 8 for 64 on the season. 6 of his 8 hits are home runs. I believe they're solo shots. He's got 8 RBIs. He's got 6 walks too. He's unbelievably terrible. He even made, at least up to a recent point, you could say he's still a very good third baseman. He recently made a couple blunders over there. It's like, what are you doing? And now he sat. I think today was 2 straight where he sat, and there was some pregame controversy today where he didn't want to speak to anybody, and he said, "I don't have any time." And then he went and he was walking to Aaron Boone's office. So now we're bringing in all of drama that I don't need for this dude who's making 20 something million and not doing shit. And then he says, "Oh, after the game, he says, I'm happy our team won. I think you guys are making more out of this talk I had with Boone than it should be. You made it, yeah, like you said, you don't have time to speak to the media, and then went to the meeting. So, what is the media going to talk about then? They're going to talk about the meeting. You're going to find out what you were saying, and you didn't play for a second straight game. There was even a point where I don't even think he was in the bench for the team today. So it's one thing to be this bad, but now to be an asshole about it. I didn't like the guy before he came here. He came and he kind of brought a little bit of swagger at first. He had a couple walk off hits, and it's like, all right,
Was he a savage in the box?
no, no, he's not at all. He is atrocious in the box,
Not
and
anymore.
it is absolutely, yeah. I
The
mean,
epitome of a backloaded
but
contract.
then to make it worse, Aaron Boone says today, Josh is an important part of our team. He's going to play a lot for us.
As you have to say as the manager, man.
No,
I
you
mean,
don't. Say
dude,
Josh is going to sit now, and we're going to put DJ LeMahieu over at third, who had a big hit today, and is a guy who doesn't have any of this bullshit drama. He has not had a good season, but he's a guy who could play, and if he gets rolling, they call him the machine for a reason. I don't want anything to do with Josh Donaldson on the Yankees anymore, and I don't think the Yankees will go anywhere with the expectation of Josh Donaldson being the starting third baseman and a number 5 or 6 hitter in that lineup.
no, of course not. Because what he did was years ago and he got paid for it. And now you're suffering because of it. This is the high dollar free agency repercussion. And,
But it's not even your free agent, not the guy that you signed. You willingly traded for him to bring him in, and it
who
was one of the worst trades that Cashman's made.
bring of rain. He was a jerk before he came to the Yankees, and now he's a
See?
jerk within your clubhouse. So,
Yeah, I don't
you
need
know
it.
what?
Get
It's
out of
the
here.
bed.
You're a shitty Josh.
The bed you make.
You know. Well, that wraps up another good and shitty. Chris, close us out here. What have you got to talk about tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Super excited about the global aspect of sports, and we talk about the Saudis coming for certain players in soccer or whatever. But when our American leagues expand over to Europe or wherever they're playing games, the NBA in China, soccer in Mexico, whomever, I feel like there's a little bit of a letdown sometimes with whom they schedule and whatnot. But MLB, I think, got it right. Sending the Cardinals and the Cubs over to London for a series was exciting. It was good baseball. There wasn't a ton of, people wearing other jerseys in the stands. I mean, a few, of course, but with the NFL, they send over the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are playing in London and Germany next year as well. But like,
Just kick them out of America.
yeah, like why don't we just like send them over there? And the Jaguars, I think, are gonna turn a corner. They got Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. They've got a great core or whatever. But these games are scheduled years in advance. I give the MLB kudos because they made it a weekend in London. There was some fun stuff seeing on MLB.TV, some batting cages and things like that, competitions going on in the like it was a college football game, and it was super exciting to see the pageantry. And you had two great franchises going over there representing Major League Baseball well. And I think that other leagues can take a page from their book, especially the NFL, sending over the Jaguars for
Yeah,
everybody to see.
agreed. And shame the Cardinals are having the season they're having. But like you said, it was entertaining baseball. A lot of offense, I believe, this morning from what I saw. And the Cardinals, they have exciting talent, young talent. Jordan Walker is up and playing very well. Um, and the Cubs are doing really well. Shame to see Marcus Stroman, who's having an unbelievable season. He left the game with a blister. Hope that doesn't affect him too much. But
Freaking blisters.
he's a polarizing figure, Stroman. He likes to talk, and he's fun to watch. He's always been, and the Cubs have been pretty decent. They're surprising. So good stuff. Good series out in London. Enjoyable stuff. They're doing a better job there than the NFL.
For sure.
All right, Chris. I think that wraps it up for this weekend. Thanks everybody for joining. Chris, talk soon.
Cool. Sounds good, buddy. See ya.
Bye, everybody.